Right. So this is about a case study that I have taken on Guidewire configuration, especially for the Guidewire development team, because Guidewire developers majorly works on two things. One is on the configuration side, second is on the integration side. When we focus more on the configuration, we do multiple configurations like page level page configurations we do. So data model can be changed. Workflows will be configured. Rating configuration also we do. Rating configuration means whatever the rate that we need to provide for a particular policy when we are creating uh, any quotation to the customer against to the risk assessment and underwriting team has undergone. We have to provide the rating configuration so that what must be the rate, right? What is the premium rate? Everything will be decided. So further, there are different rating factors we have, even rating table, followed by rating engine automatically calculate. So for that, we need to understand the rating rules based upon the rating table, followed by rating factors that we do. So as a Guidewire developer point of view, we must be knowing about how this can be, because when we go for any interview, right? So whenever we face any kind of interviews and all, understanding over the practical learning over the Guidewire development, anyway, being a developer, people do. But in addition to that, when we attend for an interviews or when there is any discussions that goes on, so how can we explain these, right? So how can we explain this to the uh, team members or for any reason, right? So when there is reasons, how this can be explained. So for that reason, this example I have taken, one of the case study or a project, whatever the name you can call, a sample kind of, right? So case study, Guidewire rating configuration from the developer point of view. Now, if we are in from the development point of view, even though we are in from the technical side, first of all, we must be knowing about the business scenario. As I already taken the business scenario, who is an auto insurance carrier, wants to enhance their rating in policy center. The current base premium only, because base premium based upon the driver's age, vehicle type, everything will be taken. At the same time, multi-tier rating can be done for base and as well as surcharge discounts and all. Next, factors will be taken. What are the different factors relating to the driver's age, vehicle type, location, driving history? Everything will be taken under the scenarios. So we must allow categories to update the rates via rating management. So from a development point of view, first of all, understanding the business scenario is always important, because many people, I don't say it's a mistake, but many people focuses more on the PCF configuration. How do we do, right? So variables, attributes, data table, data models. This is all important. It's essential too, which I accept the fact. But equally, understanding about the scenario is also very important, crucially important. So the reason why understanding the scenario is more important. Based on the scenario understanding, requirement gathering, usually business analyst team do that, requirement gathering and all. They're interacting with different teams, like either it can be external or external teams will be taken. Now we need to understand the example of the factor. For example, I have taken a rating factor for a particular commercial vehicle policy. Has base rate as $500 I have taken, right? So including by considering the age, vehicle, location, etc. Everything is taken. This anyway, this detailed understanding is not needed for a developer. So this is focused more on the BA perspective. So hence I am not focusing more on that. Now, one of the critical and important point, we must be knowing about the solution design, because if you want to develop a solution, how this can be, what approach do we require to follow? So generally, when it comes to the approach, when we are providing a solution for the particular rating configuration. Understanding about the rating table for age, vehicle, and location is important. Next, rating worksheets for any kind of premium formula that we follow. Whatever the formula, how this code can be written, that I have a separate video that I'm making. There I will explain. Okay, so there is a separate video for how this formula we have given, right? So how the code was written, everything that will be mentioned in a separate video because unnecessarily deviates. So the reason why that part will be covered in the next session, in the next video. So coming back to that rating worksheets for a premium formula that we need to know. Next, we need to create some customer plugins that is needed. If needed, generally this custom plugins depends on the requirement to requirement, it will vary. So based upon the custom plugins, whatever are required. So if needed, that we need to create the customer plugins and all. So these are the approaches. When it comes to the solution design, to understand based upon the high level and as well as low level designs and all, these are the approaches we need to follow. As in when we interact with the technical team, we must be knowing about this well in advance. Next, artifacts, right? So what are the different artifacts we have? We have one of the artifact called entities, where rating factors such as discounts will be part of it. Next, GoSo classes will be created, wherein whatever the custom rating plugins, everything will be part of GoSo classes. Followed by this configuration for XML based worksheets and tables and all, configuration will be done also. So these are the different solution designs generally we perform when we are working on the application. Now, how this can be implemented, right? What are the different implementation steps? First implementation step is to create the rating table by considering the vehicle factor table, location table, age factor table, vehicle factor table, location table, all that. Next, we need to build the rating worksheet based on the base rate that we have taken by considering multiple risk factors and all. We need to apply those factors and all. If there is any kind of surcharge which is add on to the existing one, that can be added, followed by any discounts that can be deducted either also. Next, we need to configure the product model where we need to associate road to the auto policy line because you need to configure the product model, whatever we have created, followed by this any customer plugin that we do, like any safe driver discount plugins example, everything will be added to that. So these are the major implementation steps generally we should understand from the development point of view. Testing approach. When you're talking about the testing approach, there were many because one is about the unit testing where we generally validate rating outputs and as well as test data. At the same time, quality analysis testing for two different scenarios. One scenario for driver at the same time where exactly this car, urban area, all that. One more scenario for safe driver and all that. Regression testing, when there are any changes that are applied to the existing policy, we should ensure existing rating will be unaffected. So this is what generally we call it as regression testing stands for. Next, deployment and post-deployment. Deployment, post-deployment, where when we create any packages in rating book, we need to deploy, develop quality analysis and UAT and all that. At the same time, whatever the actuaries maintain tables through rating management and all by monitoring the production policies. At the same time, training users on existing rating table. Everything can be done under the deployment part. So deployment and post-deployment, this is what generally we do. So this is how generally as a development side, when we try to understand about a scenario, when we are going to explain, this is how generally we need to know. So code part, that part, as I told you, I make a separate video for that. So that video will be created soon and I'll be sharing that as well. So this is what the overall understanding. I hope this might be useful to many people.